The first aspect we're going to look at here on the board is the protection part of it. Again, important thing for us is we want to make sure we get the ball thrown. And in order to do that, we're going to max protect our 90 game as much as possible. You know, typically that's going to call for 6, 7-man protections. But also, we're a half-man, half-slide concept on our protection. For us, we're going to determine the man side by where we have the opportunity to have the fewest players blocking man-on-man as possible. And again, we just feel as high school football players, some are great pass protectors, some aren't great pass protectors, and the fewer guys we have trying to block a defender by themselves, the greater our chances are of success. So to do that, and I've drawn up, our offense here against two different defenses that we as coaches are most likely to see right now. That's the 3-4 defense and also against the 4-3 defense. So in both of these instances, we're going to set the protection away from the tight end. Again, in doing so, that gives us 3 blockers to this side, 3 blockers to this side, plus we've got our center working away from the call as well. So with this first look up here, quarterback could call the protection to the right, and in doing so, he's telling the running back where to go. So the running back against this defense will have a dual read. And we tell them inside out, if both of these linebackers blitz and nobody's there to block them, which one's going to get there first? Well, essentially the answer is going to be the will linebacker in this case. So we tell him that's going to be the guy that you're going to take. In doing that, by setting the protection to the right side or indicating that the protection is to the right, our slide begins with the first uncovered offensive lineman to that side. In this case, it's the right guard. And at that point, we tell every offensive lineman and tight end that you've got from your nose to the nose of the guy to your left. In some of these situations, are they going to end up blocking a defender by themselves? Of course. But I think when the kids feel that they're getting help because they're part of the slide side, it empowers them and it gives them a little bit more confidence. Also, to the slide side, we could cut our splits down a little bit more and really just look to mash everything together. So with our right call here, again, our guard is working to the A gap. Our center's got the backside A gap, left guard, left tackle, tight end. The only one really in this situation that has a huge concern would be the center. He's got to look for run through by the middle linebacker in this case. What we could also do here is, hold on a second, which now leaves our right tackle is the only one-on-one blocker. Again, a number of ways that we could treat that defensive end. We could cut him right out of our stance. We could jump his rush. And we've really been talking to our players about run blocking him, about just firing out, engaging him, keeping his hands low, and not really have to worry about it. Big thing for him, if he's going to do that, don't get beat inside. We want to take away the inside lane or the shortest distance to the quarterback. We do have a couple of adjustments we could use. One of those, our call side adjustment is a down-down call. In that situation, if we have a linebacker walk up, such as this, again, we feel he'd get to the quarterback long before the running back could get to him. So as the tackle, we're going to put that call on you to make a down-down call, which at that point changes the protection just slightly, where the tackle will take him, and now the running back is solely responsible for blocking the defensive end. In essence, it turns it into a full slide protection. Not real big on blocking defensive linemen with running backs, but there is a time that it is a necessity for us in the 90 game. But we feel it's a real simple protection with just one adjustment to the play side. On the back side, the adjustment, if one is needed, is an out-out call. And if we have a situation where perhaps a strong safety would walk up and there's an extra edge rusher there, the tight end or the end man on the line of scrimmage would make an out-out call. And really that takes this protection one gap further. It's not an ideal situation, but it's something that needs to be done, where the tight end is then going to set to take the edge rush, the tackle's set to take that linebacker, and the guard is going to work to that defensive end. So it turns into really at that point more of a man-to-man situation, but we are able to remove it a little bit more from the quarterback. So again, a simple protection, one adjustment to the front side if need be, one adjustment to the back side if need be. Just to look at it from a 4-3 perspective, again, let's set the protection to the right so we've got as few guys blocking man-on-man as possible. So we still have the tackle on the end, and everybody else is working backside gap. You've got your nose to the nose of the man next to you. Running back still responsible to the right, and he's going to dual read. He's responsible for blitz here, blitz here. Now we'll examine the numbered routes, or the route tree that we use for our 90 game. Our first one is the simple hitch route. What we're looking at for our 90 game, all the receivers, all the outside receivers, we're looking at 3-step routes. Now the slant, it's going to be 3 and make your break. The fade, it's going to be 3 and make your break. In this situation, again, our guys are taught inside foot up in your stance. It's a 3-step, and in this situation, we're going to plant the right foot and make your numbers available to the quarterback. For the quarterback, this is absolutely a rhythm 3. We just come out and say 90, give a formation and call 90. It's 3-step, get the ball out there. You've got to have confidence that your receiver is going to get himself open. Receivers, you've got to have confidence that the ball is going to be there. So we've got just a simple hitch, which is 90. Our speed out, again, at that 3-step breaking point, or 4-step in this case, because it's an outside breaking route, we'll get that inside foot in the ground, and he's rolling that route out to the sideline. Again, big thing for the quarterback is be on time. We want to make sure that ball's in the air by the time the receiver gets his head around. If we wait too long, we're looking at a corner that's making a great break on the ball and could be causing huge problems for us as an offense. But if we do catch the ball, we're going to catch it very close to the sideline and not be able to do much with it. So, again, very important for the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands and get it to that receiver so he's got an opportunity to gain yards after the catch. Next route off of it is the slant. Let me put some numbers in here for you. So this is our 90, 91, 92. Now we've got a couple of different slants, and one of the slants being from the outside is the 3-step slant. So again, we're looking at 3rd step in the ground, and you're breaking hard towards the inside. Depending on what's happening in here as far as alignment, it could be a little bit flatter, it could be a little bit steeper, and again, a lot of that's going to be determined pre-snap organization. Where's the outside linebacker, or if there's a safety roll down, we want to make sure that we're not running ourselves into coverage. The next one, obviously, from 92, we're going to go to 93. Again, very important for us to have the same breaking point on the routes. Again, it's a consistent thing. It makes it harder for the defense to be able to make a determination. So our coach, our receivers coach, does a real good job just enforcing that and enforcing that and enforcing that and being consistent with it. As far as the fade route, again, a couple of different ways that we'll run it. As a straight fade, we're looking at a throw somewhere between 18 to 22 yards down the field. Depending on the coverage, it could be a throw we're trying to drop in the bucket. It could be against a hard cover too, a throw we're really trying to stick in there a lot sooner. Against a tight man-to-man coverage, that might be more of a back shoulder fade. So again, that one could kind of take on a couple of different appearances, but 93 is still the fade for us. Our next one is 94. A little bit more to the 94, whereas it's going to go to the fade, and then we're going to break that back to the quarterback. So we're going to take our 3-step to the fade. We're going to push the fade for about 2 or 3 strides, and then we're going to hammer that thing back inside. Wanting to really work to get that corner pressed off. Ideally, we're going to get his hips turned to chase the fade, and the ball should be delivered certainly by the time the receiver gets his eyes and hands around. And then from there, we go to the zig route. All right, like I said, that zig route, or that 97 route for us, came from some of our 7-on-7 stuff. Found it to be a great short yardage and goal line play. Get a lot of man-to-man coverage. And essentially, it's the slant route. And after 2 steps to the slant, the receiver is going to reverse pivot, and he's back to the flat. So again, it's similar to a post corner, but just compressed down into a much smaller area. And that's the consistency with our pass game. You know, that 4 route in our 80s passing game is also our curl. So 84, 94, they're both curls. One's just shorter than the other one. 97 and 87, same route. One's just longer, one's more compressed. So that's a route tree, again, very similar to what a lot of other people do. But where it's really important to us, if the number route is called in the huddle or called during the course of the cadence, the quarterback knows that that ball's got to be delivered on time. And we tell them we want to take our receivers that are 4.7 and 4.8s with accuracy and with timing. It gives them the appearance to look like they're running 4.5s and things like that because the ball's quicker, they've got more space to work with. So again, real important for these guys to have confidence that they're going to get open, and real important for these guys to have confidence that that ball's going to be delivered where they could do something with it. Okay, the first combination we're going to look at is the fade flat combination. Again, trying to high-low or put this corner in a bind where a number 1 receiver is going to run his good 3 or 90 or his good fade route. And our number 2 receiver, wherever he's aligned, he could be out in a twin situation, but more likely we'll use him from in tight from that wing spot just to get a little bit more separation and timing. He's got the flat route. Quarterback's told, your read's the corner. Now, where you deliver that ball against a hard corner to the fade is going to depend on that safety as well. But again, because it's a combo route, quarterback knows this is 3 and hitch or 3 and gather. If he's in the gun, it's catch and gather. Pre-snap, we're going to identify. Quarterback will come out. Hold on. Pre-snap, quarterback's going to identify coverage. Going to be indicating 2 safeties in this situation, so he knows it's a real good chance that we're going to get some type of cover 2, maybe cover 4. Then both the quarterback and receiver should get a good look at this corner, see what type of indicator he's giving. Is he playing man? Is he playing zone? Is he pressed up? Again, we're starting to gather as much information as we can here. Against a pressed up corner, playing outside leverage, we're going to go ahead and assume we're going to get a good hard cover 2 here. Against that good hard cover 2, we know that that flat throw is probably dead, so now we got a good chance to throw the fade. Depending on the width and depth of this safety, this is probably going to be one of those 18-yard, you've got to throw this ball in the hole, and there can't be very much air under it because we got to get it in his hands before we could get that, before that safety can make a break on it. Next thing, against a cover 3 look, if we get a cover 3 look, we get that single safety in the middle of the field, we get a corner that's off. Again, quarterback's going to indicate single safety. We got one. Both the quarterback and the receiver are going to look to the corner. Where's he playing? Is he more of a cover 3 pre-snap position? Again, depending on that depth, we're going to start gaining information here. These 3 guys, who's most likely going to be the throw? Who's most likely going to be the open guy? If I'm the underneath guy and I catch it, where should I already be thinking about where to go once I catch the ball? Again, because it's a combo, our quarterback pre-snap gets a look, and then it's his 3. Confirm your coverage on the drop, and then deliver based on what you see from that defender. If you're in the gun, it's a gather or it's a catch. Gather, confirm your coverage, and then deliver. Get a corner that breaks up hard. We're going to go over his head. If he sinks with that, quarterback just needs to be aware of that blitzer. Again, if we get a blitzer here, that's great. We're going to replace him with a throw. We just have to be careful of him undercutting that route. Lastly, against a cover 4 look, again, we've taught our kids coverages. They're really confident in what they see pre-snap. Again, cover 4, they know we're going to get a 4-deep coverage. There's going to be a lot of open spaces underneath. We have a pretty good indicator before the ball is snapped, who's going to get it, what I need to do if I'm the receiver, where am I going to go once I get the ball. Again, allows our players to play a lot faster than they probably are, gives them confidence that they know once I get the ball, I'm going to be able to do something with it. I know my quarterback's going to protect me or do the best he can to protect me and not throw me into trouble. All right, next combination we'll look at, again, it's somewhat of a new concept at our school for us, is the spacing concept, but it's very much a three-step throw. We like to do this to a 3-by-1 or away from a 3-by-1 formation, actually. And we're going to set that single receiver to the big part of the field as much, take as much room as he can. Again, a lot of teams will dictate coverage or send more coverage to the 3 receivers, and it gives this receiver a lot of room to be able to operate. And we've called this a couple of different things, and we've called this a slant spacing, where we're telling that receiver on the outside that you're running a slant. It could be a 1-step slant, it could be a 3-step slant. We've told the quarterback, if we're throwing slant spacing, that's your guy. And then if he's covered, that's still your guy. We are putting him out here, we're going to isolate him, and that's who we're going to. So again, it's a 1-step or a 3-step slant for him. And then the next part of it is these guys will all have landmarks. The first one, he's 5 yards over the ball. The next one is about 7 yards over that H-back or over that tight end area. And then this one's about 7 yards over that spot. So again, the read is just in this situation, right to left. We're going to work as hard as we can to try to get the ball to this single receiver. Usually we're going to figure out a way to put our best receiver to the wide side of the field to create a good matchup for us. But again, if that's taken, our quarterback's taking his 3 steps, and then he's just working his feet, working his eyes back across the formation. So we're here, we're here, we're here, or we're just bringing it back across to the next open spot. The other thing we did off of this is because we had such a talented kid here the first year we did it, we started to just call it option spacing. In doing so, these 3 players didn't change whatsoever, but now he had the freedom and flexibility to run the slant or to run the fade as well. So again, if his team started to see us more on film with it, they started to try to take that slant away, which is fine, but doing so started to give us something else. And it's just part of the chess match that we play as far as giving something, and then they take it away, and we try to counter it. So from slant spacing to option spacing was the next thing for us. But again, big part of it is this doesn't change. You could do a number of different things even with this. If we wanted to do this from a 2-by-2 set, again, the routes are the same. We're still going to have that 5-yard route over the ball. It's just a matter of which guy's the spacing guy, and then where do we line up, where do we fit into this whole thing. And now the last quick passing game concept that we'll look at is the double spacing concept. And one of the key things for this is the alignment of our players. And this is one where we're going to want to condense the formation down just a little bit. And again, we can try to do some different things formationally with it, but just to look at it out of one of our wing tee looks. Big thing is the read of this is going to be the corner. So if our double spacing is to the left, so if we're calling we'll call it Mars left, number 2 is going to have the flat route where he's going flat immediately. Everyone else has landmarks they need to get to. So as the number 1 receiver to the Mars side, his route, again, it's 7 yards over that spot, over the H-back spot. The tight end in this situation, he's got the 5-yard OTB or over the ball. And then our number 1 receiver from the other side, he's at 7 as well. In essence, these are our 2 spacing routes. Right? They're going to keep that defense spaced out the way we want them. But for the quarterback, this is just a very simple read to get started. If that corner sinks or goes to play number 1, he could deliver that ball just as soon as he has it. It could be a 1-step throw. If he needs to get to 3, fine. But it's most effective on a 1-step. Get the ball out here. Get the ball in the young man's hand. Let him turn it up the sidelines and gain some yards. If the corner doesn't chase that, if the corner sits on this route, well, again, just like we did on the other spacing, now he reads it 1, 2, 3. Potentially, we send the back out, and that's our 4th one. But again, with that 3-step concept, I don't see us doing a lot of that. I don't see the ball, I don't see us holding the ball that long to get to a fourth man on that. But the read again is the immediate throw off the corner and then looking at those three spaces left to right.